Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Cool. Hey, from the audience, I got my questions, but theirs are always more fun. Allie in Texarkana, she remembers you from Austin days. She says, I love when Luke is on the show. Do you have a fun Austin, Texas story from your time with the Texas Stars? Something real quick.
Well, I'm still the all-time penalty minute and fight leader with the Texas Stars. So I started my career there. 4 years, 19 to 22 age. Some of my fondest memories were made in Cedar Park, Texas.
It is a grand town. From BW in Edmonton says, pardon me, Luke, who was the toughest hockey fighter you faced and hardest body checker?
Oh, good questions. The fighter part, I've never felt, still to the day, anyone as strong as Brian McGrattan. And I fought him my first battle of Alberta in Calgary, center ice at the Saddle Dome. And when he grabbed onto my collar, I had never felt something like that in my life. He had this ability to move me around anywhere he wanted to go. And I remember just having an internal dialogue, just kind of hang in here, breathe, stay in there. But there was nobody like Big Earn, I'll tell you that much. Hitter.
Those are the best. Yeah.
But Dustin Byfuglien, anyone that has seen the YouTube clip of me get hit by Dustin Byfuglien, and I did a full 180, there was nobody like him in hockey, especially when he got moving. And when I tried to hit him multiple times, it was just like bouncing off a brick wall.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
I was born to broadcast. So the World Juniors, 2012, I'm calling the national radio feed. I was sitting there in the press box of the Saddle Dome like this, playing Pac-Man on my phone. Ray Ferraro, he's like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm playing Pac-Man on my phone. I just died. And he goes, don't you have game prep to get ready for the game or something? No, I know the numbers. I know everything about them. Let's get the game going.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Yahoo. Welcome to the RP Show. A brand new week for me. I know you all were here yesterday, but not me. I was traveling home. It's episode number 1361 of your favorite daytime sports talk show on a very big day. Very big day. In a second, you're going to hear why. I'm back in the South Florida studio. Moose is in Toronto. Let's bring him on. I'll get to the viewer comments in a second. The boys are riled up and ready to go. And the girls too, Moose. Looks like you're good to go. You survived the last few shows without me. How'd it go?
We survived. We missed you. You know, get back from vacation and you're gone. So finally on this Tuesday, back to regularly scheduled programming. It's good.
We're here, so you guys didn't completely run it into the ditch like I did. Hey, coming up on the program, Brien Rea of the Dallas Stars television broadcast. When I say it's a very big day, it's hashtag Frozen Frenzy in the NHL. The only day of the year where all 32 teams are playing. That's today. And it coincidentally happens on opening night in the NBA. Funny how that works. Brien Rea, Emory Hunt will join us from CBS Sports HQ. Going to talk some ball with us. And I got some funny stories along the way. Can we hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan? And we do have some sad news today, if you don't mind me saying. Director Jordan dropped it in our morning meeting today. He is leaving us. After 1,361 shows, Director Jordan is leaving, and he is going to South Country Equipment, where he's going to be a farm implement technician. Do I have that right, Jordan? Yeah. And why that's significant is
Bingo!
If he is leaving us, he has none of us, not you, not me, not Clark, have done more shows than Director Jordan. Do you have a sound effect for this, Clark? Yeah, whatever you want. Clark runs the sound effect. So Director Jordan leaving us. I think he said November 1st is his last day or somewhere around that. So thank you, Jordan, for all you've done. And again, he's done more shows than any of us. The guy is a soldier. So do you have a word, Darren, on Director Jordan stepping down, stepping up? Depends how you look at it before we move on. It has to be acknowledged.
Jordan is our glue guy, right? He's the glue
Yeah.
around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever anything is going one way, you can always count on Jordan. He's going to make sure everything gets back on track, make sure we get, whether it's back on the air, keep you and I on focus. He's the glue guy. We're going to miss him around here.
Yeah, he seems pretty happy, though, so I think that says a lot about us. We'll discuss it later.
See?
Utah Darren writes in and he says, Rod, nice shirt. Is that a jockey jersey? No, this is from the Florida clothing brand Whole Life, and they did up a bunch of shirts for me. This is in Florida Panthers colors, blue, red, gold, and white, because they're playing tonight with the Minnesota Wild in town. But so, yeah, thank you, Whole Life. Thank you, Mark Gundry. David, number 1 in Winnipeg, says, wish you well, Jordan. Let's not get yank tears here. Did we hit the quick six show? Yeah, we did. We hit it. I gotta tell a quick story before we go, and I gotta stay out of the comments, or we'll get bogged down in there, Darren, forever. Because everybody wants to hear the story, and I'll make it quick. I was gone on the weekend speaking in Wolseley, Saskatchewan, finalist for last year's Craft Celebration Tour across Canada. Wolseley, Saskatchewan. Myself, former Pittsburgh Penguins, Chicago Blackhawks, San Jose Sharks coach Lorne Mulligan, junior coach as well, Lorne Mulligan, Rough Riders great Bob Poley, and Paralympic curler Gil Dash. It was amazing. We raised over $100,000, but it was a nightmare getting there. It's not Wolseley's fault, but my vehicle in Canada, the bus, wasn't running too good. I didn't trust taking that to Wolseley. I had a rental car booked Saturday, an hour in Moose Jaw's where I was staying, Moose Jaw. An hour before I picked it up, the rental car company called and said, yeah, we don't have a car for you. I said, that's funny because I have a reservation. They said, we don't care. We're out of cars. There wasn't one rental car available in Moose Jaw, and if there were any, other dealerships were closed. So I took my business manager, Joe Brokentoe's vehicle. He goes, here, take my SUV. I rip out of Moose Jaw, get just outside the city. Boom, tire blows. So I drive on the rim into a gas station. Anybody that knows the area knows what I'm talking about. Here's a first photo, Clark, of myself and Lily, if you don't mind, me and Lily. I walk into the gas station. She doesn't speak a lot of English. I said, do you have tow truck? She says, no, but we have U-Haul. I said, I'll take it. Threw my credit card down. That wasn't real easy to get through all. I had to create an account. They had U.S. address, had to verify from my employer, put down my passport, urine sample, blood sample. But I got it. And I got on the road, and then we get into Wolseley, and Clark has the other photo there. Larry Mueller took this. His son is Mark Mueller, the offensive coordinator of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Darren, he dropped to his knees laughing so hard. That's my rental car. And those are my green sunglasses that I leave in the console of the bus, my usual vehicle. I made it to Wolseley. Everybody thought it was funny. So that was it. I made it. We did the dinner, and I in the end, it wasn't that disastrous. It felt like it at the time. I was really worried I wasn't going to make it, but I made it, Darren. So you said your mom got quite a kick. You said your mom got quite a kick out of it, huh?
Yeah, she did. You know, it's a little bit of, oh my gosh, what's he got himself into this time? And, you know, unbelievable stuff. So I'm glad you made it. I know, you know what, it's funny for us watching, and everybody following the social media got a real bang out of it. I know it's not funny in the moment, highly stressful, because you got places to be, people that are counting on you. You got to get there, but hey, you made it in one piece, and life is good.
Oh, Allie just joined us from Texarkana. Allie, you might want to rewind because we just told a great story that you're not going to want to miss. But I said to Joe, my business manager, I said, and yours as well, I said, hey, why do we do this, Joe? I could sit at home and watch Hockey Night in Canada. I could be doing nothing. Why do we do these things? Go Google Man in the Arena. Look up Man in the Arena. That's why we do it. Okay, that's enough for story time. Can you hit the Quick Six show horn, Jordan, and we'll actually get down to business. Bomber Boy in Calgary writes, and he says, come get bogged down in the gutter known as YouTube comments. Not yet, but we'll get there. We have a lot to get to. Moose and I are back on track, back on schedule, and we have a lot of time to get to all of our points. We're going to break a little bit of tradition here with what we're doing. The poll question, maybe we should jump to that first. It's for EMJ Marketing. They'll provide the perfect keynote speaker for your event. Look them up online, EMJ Marketing. It's what are you into right? What are you into the most right now? NHL and hockey, NFL, CFL, World Series, or NBA. That opens tonight. Just so you know, running away with it, 70% plus is football. Number 2 is hockey. And then number 3, a distant number 3 is World Series, and number 4 is NBA. But we got it all covered here in the Quick Six. So that's the poll question. For me, it's hockey. I'm going to tell you right now, it's hockey. We're going to open with football, but what are you voting for, Moose?
I'm going to vote football by a nose, but it's always that tough internal poll with me. Hockey or football, football or hockey. But football still for me right now.
Yeah, cool. It's hard to pick just one, but I mean, I'm going to the Minnesota Wild and Florida Panthers tonight, part of the NHL Frozen Frenzy. I'm excited to be able to go to an NHL game. Sorry, I just yanked my headphones out. How do you like us so? So point number 1 from Monday Night Football, Lamar Jackson threw for 281 yards and 5 touchdowns, helping the Baltimore Ravens extend their win streak to 5 games with a 41-31 victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night. The Bucs, who now sit second in the NFC South, lost their top 2 receivers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, to injuries. And in another Monday Night Football matchup, Kyler Murray ran for a 44-yard touchdown and led the Cardinals on a drive that set up Chad Ryland's 32-yard field goal as time expired and Arizona rallied for a 17-15 win over the visiting Los Angeles Chargers. Can I ask you this? I saw somewhere on one of the million shows that are out there, how do you like 2 Monday Night Football games? And this morning on NHL Radio, Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin were talking about how many games can you watch at once? And they both said basically only 1. And I'm like, hello, me too. I'm not that guy that can have 5 screens going. 2 Monday Night Football games were a little annoying. I was enjoying the Bucs. I thought they had the game in hand. And then your boy, King Henry, exploded for the Ravens. I don't like the 2 Monday night games. I don't know why they do it. How do you feel about it?
To be honest, I agree with you. And I'm the guy who can watch a little bit more. And it's a different experience for me. Because when I settle into one game and I give it my attention, you can really ride the waves of the game and be into it and get everything out of it. When you watch 3 or 4 games, you don't really get any satisfaction out of any single one of those games. It's more about staying on top of what's going on. So last night I did have the Amazon game on the iPad, and I had, the football game on the television that I was flipping back and forth to. So that was okay. But I was really dialed into hockey first and then the end of the football game. I don't like 2 Monday nighters because it makes it less special. On Sunday, we watch all the games on Red Zone. That's what Sunday's for. But Monday night is for one game, one team, one story. The only thing I like about it is we get a chance to hear Chris Fowler call the second game, and I'm a big fan of his.
Fair enough. So that's the one thing. The other thing is, and the text line's open for Alatura Skincare, 902-518-3033. Again, I'm going in to speak at an event Saturday, and it was a really big deal. We raised 6 figures at the thing. So I wasn't following football. I wasn't following hockey. I need to concentrate. I'm sorry if it's a failing of Rod Pedersen, but I can't stay on top of everything else that's going on because my focus was that one thing right in front of me. You know what? I don't feel bad about it because that's why I've had success in that arena and why I charge an exorbitant sum. We make a lot of money. So my point is I had to get caught up on everything. Here's a really funny story from the sports banquet, by the way. Guy by the name of Chad Bieber. I will guarantee you he's listening right now because you know what he told me? He's a trucker, Darren, and he gets up at midnight every night, and he downloads our show from the day before. He came up to me, he's a trucker, covered in tattoos, plaid shirt, fit right in there. And he said, I really enjoy Mondays because I download Friday's show and I listen to you and Darren's picks and hear how much you guys are wrong on all of our picks. So Chad Bieber is his name. Hi, Chad. Drive safe. Keep it between the ditches. Moving on. There was only one NHL game on Monday. William Nylander had 2 goals and an assist. Anthony Stolarz made 32 saves, and the Toronto Maple Leafs struck down the visiting Tampa Bay Lightning 5-2 in Scotiabank Arena. Austin Matthews, Max Pacioretty, and Matthew Nyes also scored for the Leafs, who improved to 4-2. The Bolts are 3-2. Nicholas Paul and Braden Point scored for them. I'll say this. Never been a Leaf fan. We've established that. I don't need to be, because you are and Clark are, and they are the most followed team in the NHL. They don't need me. But in Pedersen Airport in Toronto yesterday, I just marveled. I can feel the vibe, and I know you can too, of being in Toronto when the Leafs play at home. There's a palpable energy. And Serena talks about it all the time. She's lived in LA for 10 years. Here now, it doesn't have it. I don't even know that it even has it for the Dolphins or the Heat here. The Panthers surely don't. But there's something about Toronto. Montreal as well, but in this case, we're talking about Toronto. And it's damn exciting. You can just feel it. And there's people getting off planes from all over Canada, largely wearing Leaf gear. Some are wearing Lightning gear, but they're all going to the game. You know, and if I'm sitting at Tim Hortons having a coffee, I'm like, this is flipping awesome. Can you feel it? When the Leafs are home, can you feel it because you're living there?
Yeah, you know, especially when you get out into the communities. And I'm not too far from downtown Toronto. I'm about, you know, depending on the traffic, I'm 20, 25 minutes from downtown. And it is, yeah, you feel a bit of an energy in the city, no doubt. And that's cool. And we get that in places like Edmonton and Montreal and these other big, you know, hockey mad markets. It's cool. And you sitting in a Tim Hortons on a game day, getting that feeling, that is so Canadiana, man. Just probably makes your heart sing.
Well, you know it yourself. I kind of sit back and go, I hope you people in Canada realize how lucky you are to have certain things like a Tim Hortons and NHL hockey being number one, fall, just the fall, autumn, and then fall weather. Although in Calgary right now, I feel like they're not really thankful for anything, and I get it. They're getting buckets and buckets and buckets of snow dropped in Calgary right now. By the way, hour one of the program is brought to you by Culligan. Drink clean, live green, filter your water for a healthier tomorrow. Culligan Water of Regina. Visit CulliganRegina.com. We're going to take a little time out here. We do have CFL on the way. I had a football buddy here in Florida say to me, do the Riders have anything to play for this weekend? I'm like, yeah. You covered yesterday, you covered the weekend very well with Scott Schultz and Farhan Lalji. We'll look ahead to CFL week, what is it now, 21? It is opening night in the NBA, and although nobody cares here in this little coffee group, I want you to think about this and maybe look this up, and we'll take a break here right away. I'm trying to figure out how to trick my AI algorithm so that I can get NBA news. You know what I'm saying? Because I signed up for this daily newsletter from yahoo.com, and I'm getting NBA news because it doesn't come up in my feed anymore. You've heard me say that. I'd like to know what's going on in the NBA. I like the NBA. I don't know anything about basketball. I like the game. I don't see any of the news because I don't search it. So I've gone into my search engines and typed NBA news. Do you think that'll work? How do I trick my algorithm so that I will get NBA news on my Twitter feed and my Instagram?
Where's your phone? Just keep talking about NBA, LeBron James.
NBA,
maybe your phone will hear
NBA, Stephen A.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a moment. We're live on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, streaming live on YouTube, of course, and also Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit.
As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
The 80s Club, live in Moose Jaw. Honeymoon Suite, along with a flock of seagulls. Men without hats. And spoons. All together for one night at Moose Jaw Event Center, Saturday, November 16th. Tickets on sale now at sastix.ca or the Moose Jaw Event Center box office.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, everybody. The text line, the Alaterra Skincare text line, 902-518-3033, brought to you by Alaterra. As sports fans, there's nothing we love more than a comeback. In a game against wrinkles, scars, and acne, it's never too late to revitalize your skin with Alaterra Naturals. Check them out at alaterra.com. Use promo code RP20 for 20% off your order. Please welcome the Moose back in. It is cold. It's freezing in here. I'm about to put my jacket on. You saw a look outside. It's 28 degrees Celsius. I'm not joking. 28 Celsius out there. Although I know it's nice in Toronto, or at least it was 19 Celsius yesterday there. Moose, my third point was the frozen frenzy, but I'm going to push that to next hour. If anybody's paying attention, it's the NHL's only day where they have 16 games. All 32 teams are in action. It's the only day of the year where every team in the NHL is playing. Coincidentally, the NBA season's opening tonight with a doubleheader. I'd like to think that the NHL's not that dirty, that they would just try and smother the
It happened
NBA,
last year too, didn't it?
It happened last year too, yes. To people, is that a coincidence, everybody? I'd like to think they don't play that dirty. What do you think about this?
Once is a coincidence, twice is an act of war.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could be for sure. But you know what? I think of any sports, basketball and hockey feel like the two sports where you don't get as much overlap of fans. football, hockey, basketball, football, baseball, hockey. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of overlap. But I feel like basketball, hockey is the two sports where there's the least amount of overlap.
That's the thing. What do I say? We're not in competition with each other in life. We're in competition with ourselves and getting better than we are yesterday. But sometimes I think I'm just yelling into the forest. I'm the only one that feels that way. Anyways, 902-518-3033 from the text line. Scott in Moose Jaw writes in. He says, next time you need a car in Moose Jaw, I got several for you. Thank you, Scott. Now I know. No Knee in Calgary says, morning, Rod and Moose. Moose, you did a great job while Rod was moving or having his U-Haul adventure in Sask. If I may, Serena ran into Golden Knights general manager Kelly McCrimmon in the press box Saturday night at Bank Arena. It was Vegas at Florida here Saturday night. Kelly McCrimmon walks up to Serena and says, where's Rod? She goes, he's not here. He's in Canada. And Kelly goes, was he moving something? I saw on his Twitter he was with a U-Haul. Wayne in Victoria, BC writes in. He says, Rod, I thought I should let you know that I'm going on a cruise to Australia and New Zealand, so we'll be away for 2.5 months. I just didn't want you to think that I died. That's a thoughtful guy right there.
He knows we would ask the
Wayne,
question after not seeing him for 10 days.
Yeah. Okay, Wayne, thank you. Listen, you watch the show on YouTube. For God's sakes, I'd like to think in 2024 they got a Wi-Fi on the damn cruise. But maybe you want a break from us. In that case, ship ahoy. Kirk in Toronto writes in, hi, Rod. You said last week that you hoped the Argos would draw a good crowd against Ottawa. Well, Rod, they had the second largest crowd in the short history of BMO Field for a regular season game. 20,487. How about that? Can we get a how about that, Clark, for the Toronto Argonauts? I saw Chad Kelly addressing the crowd after the game. I'm going to tell you, or the media, sorry, after the game. Maybe he addressed the crowd too. I don't know. This CFL season, dude, listen, I've been covering it since 91, a fan of it since the 80s. There hasn't been a season like this. And I know this ridiculous debate about Bo Levi Mitchell, whether he should be the MVP or not because his team is missing the playoffs. It's so patently dumb, but that he wouldn't get MVP if he's been the best player. Who cares whether his team missed the playoffs or not? But you know what? It is not a hill I'm willing to die on. And if I had a vote, I'd probably vote for Roland Milligan, the Rough Riders defensive player who's setting records for defensive statistics. I guess it's like if there's nobody better than Bo, and you really don't want to vote for Bo because his team missed the playoffs, then vote for Roland Milligan. Noni in Calgary will be very happy to know this. I'm doing more and more and more Rough Riders themed events in Saskatchewan. I never will wear the green goggles again because I don't want to. I would like to see the world for what it is. Not green. Doesn't mean I can't cheer for the team. And that's kind of what I think I'm doing. I'm kind of getting pulled in, Darren, but not totally. So, yeah, I'll be backing all things Rider. And in that case, I guess, if it's not Bo, then I hope it's Roland Milligan. How about you?
Yeah, the Bo story is so great, and I was pulling for those Ticats to find their way into the playoffs, and I think he might be a lock for MOP if they were a playoff team. I really do. I just think that, more people would vote for him. It'd be a little more cut and dry. Roland Milligan's a great story. Fortunately, I feel like, I don't know if he'll get past Brady Oliveira in the vote, but we'll see. At least there'll be some intrigue in the West when it comes to the MOP. Roland Milligan probably will be the candidate out of Sask, Oliveira out of Winnipeg. I think it'll be one of those two.
Jim in Balgonia writes in, he says, great morning, crew. It feels good to have our dysfunctional little family back together.
How about
for now, Jim, if you missed the start of the show, Director Jordan is leaving us. He's going over to your neck of the woods, South Country Equipment. Congratulations, Jordan. That's the first of our dysfunctional family that's technically actually leaving and not coming back. It ain't no holiday. Although I understand the door is open for Jordan to ever come back if he wants, that kind of thing. He's leaving on good terms. What the hell is that, leaving on good terms? I don't even know what that is. This is it. This is an example of leaving on good terms. You can come back anytime. Usually I just take a flamethrower. Jordan, you have to give me a lesson on how to do that. But yes, 902-518-3033. Noni. On cue, Darren, from Calgary writes in. She says, hey, Rod, don't hate me for this. But I have to admit, I prefer watching basketball on TV rather than hockey. But there are a lot of hockey fans out there who are excited about all these games tonight. I guess we sports fans are so fortunate to have almost too many options to watch. That's why what is the result of the poll, Clark, the latest on YouTube, for what are you into the most right now? I voted for hockey. Darren voted for Moose Jaw. Just over 50% football. What's next? NHL, 38%. Okay, and World Series and NBA are splitting at 6% each. So there's just, I finally realized it now. Why I love the spring so much more than the fall is because there's not as much to keep track of. And we're all into one thing, the Stanley Cup playoff. Right now, we're all into something else. So we covered the CFL. I know that the fans love hour 2 early in the week more because there's more CFL talk. So stick around for hour 2, and there will be more of that. There's some things that I want to get to here. Point 4 of the Quick Six, Darren. Resale tickets for the World Series opener at Dodger Stadium Friday night against the Yankees started at $1,358. Sales for games 3 to 5 in New York are 40% higher than for games 1, 2, 6, and 7 in LA. Vivid Seats, another resale outlet, say its average price of tickets sold for this year's World Series was about double last year. Rangers Diamondback, $685. I'll say this, man. I don't get it. I don't need to get it. The world's passed me by. That's okay. I.e., the cost of tickets has just skyrocketed. I guess what it is if you are that big of a fan of your team, you'll pay it. They sold out all the games here in the Stanley Cup Final last year. Florida and Edmonton, too, both at thousands of dollars for the tickets. So it's insane, man. And I'll be watching, but I wouldn't be buying a ticket. I don't care. I don't care even if the Blue Jays were. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be real tough. I mean, but I think about it. If my teams were in it, do I want to take the chance? And, you think of all the other things that go into it. If it's in your city, travel doesn't happen, all that kind of stuff. But that's an exorbitant fee. We almost took in a game in the NLCS, Mets and Dodgers. Tickets for that just to get in the building. The cheapest one was $157. But at the end of the day, we decided, no, we weren't going to do it. We're not big enough baseball fans. That was a little easier to stomach than $1,300, though.
Yeah. Well, years ago, 2015 or 2016, Rough Riders were in Toronto to play the Argonauts. And Carmen and I bought tickets, my broadcast partner, to go to one of the games of the division series. Oh, it must have been game 1 because we watched the banner drop. The Blue Jays won the division, and then they were in the division series. But that was maybe $100 a ticket. We sat down the first base line. Times had changed. Now, that was the division series, not the World Series, but it is what it is. And it was a great time. I always say buy the tickets if you can afford to go because you won't regret it. But I think we all need to be a little more judicious with what we're spending on it. By the way, we're rolling well here. Point 6 of the Quick Six. The NBA tips off its new season tonight with a doubleheader. The defending champion Boston Celtics host the New York Knicks in the early game, while the Lakers host the Minnesota Timberwolves in the late game. LeBron James and his son Bronny could make league history by playing in the same regular season game for the Lakers. I don't understand that. What do you mean they could? They haven't unveiled the rosters yet? The Raptors host the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday. Here's the thing with where the media is right now. I'm getting the WNBA crammed down my throat. I don't care. But I do know the New York Liberty won it because they beat the Minnesota Lynx, and I was just in Minnesota on the weekend. It was front page news. But I don't really care about it. And that's not an anti-women's sports thing. I don't care about MLS either. I get down here, I get home last night, I get Messi crammed down my throat. And how Inter Miami's into the next round of the playoffs, and they're selling out, and Attendance is up across the MLS by 5%, Darren. I don't care. I was coming home from the airport. I saw 3 billboards for the Panthers, who are home tonight to Minnesota. I said to Serena, you know what you don't see billboards for? The Dolphins, because they don't need to buy them. That's the one thing. It's not up in my face because the stadium's sold out and all the radio stations are talking about Tua. Okay, we've got a break and Brien Rea's coming in next on the Dallas Stars TV, but what sport do you see do you see Leafs billboards around Toronto?
A few, yeah, but they don't need to sell those either. They don't need those either. Very few Leafs billboards around Toronto. They don't need to sell many tickets, that's for sure.
Yeah, the ironic thing would be if they advertised Argos games. What a crazy thought. And yet they're owned by the same company. Okay, Moose, I'll see you in hour 2.
See you then.
The Dallas Stars visit the Buffalo Sabres in one of 16 games on this NHL Frozen Frenzy Tuesday. Brien Rea of the Stars television crew joins us next. We're live on Game Plus TV across Canada and 31 U.S. states. Also WQEE Radio, streaming live on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Is on and here comes pride in the backstretch.
Celebrate 40 years of Sawyer Brown.
Some girls don't like boys like me.
With Shenandoah.
You got to get me to the church on the Cumberland Road.
Plus special guest George Fox. Saturday, October 26th, Moose Jaw Event Center.
I'll take the dirt road.
Tickets are on sale now at the Moose Jaw Event Center box office or online at sasktix.ca.
6 days on the road and I'm
Sawyer Brown and Shenandoah live.
Hi, my name is Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. you will use one of the most overused expressions in sports? You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact The Rod Pedersen Show today.
Sports fans, join the Rod Squad newsletter today. Stay ahead of the game with exclusive insights, updates, contests, and exclusive content delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up for free today at rodpedersen.com. Who knows what you'll find in there? Frozen frenzy in the NHL, 16 games, including Dallas at Buffalo. Brien Rea, of course, joins us from Stars television broadcasts. And hey, Brian, there's not many teams off to a hotter start than the Stars, aside from the Winnipeg Jet. Pretty good start for the D-men, huh?
No complaints, I think, in Stars land in here, right? I don't know if a lot of us saw Winnipeg having a start like this. So combined with what Nashville and Colorado have and have not done. But if you're on the Dallas side of things and you're going to win 5 of your first 6, I think you'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And for whatever reason, Dallas has been good in October under Peter DeBoer. They find a way to start strong and at least bank some early points, which doesn't guarantee you anything at the end of the season. But if you can have a couple of points in the bank early on, it does feel like you're on a stronger footing than maybe half the teams or 2/3 of the teams out there.
Some people forget or maybe don't even know points in October count as much as points in April. You're probably going to need them by then. So the early starts, good starts are important for sure. That's in any sport. Dallas at Buffalo. What's intriguing in your mind about this game?
Anytime Dallas and Buffalo hook up in a game down here, 1999 is what's intriguing, I think, for the fan base, because old memories get stirred up from what happened almost 30 years ago, coming up on that now for this team. And they just inducted, actually, Brendan Morrow and Jim Lights into the Team Hall of Fame. So a lot of those names that were on that 99 team were back over the weekend to celebrate those two. But for me personally, present day, it's funny. I was just writing some of the stuff for our show later on tonight, and there's 2 interesting storylines for me. First of all, Miro Heiskanen, Rasmus Dahlin. If you look at these two side by side, they both entered the league at the same time. Heiskanen was 19, I believe Dahlin was 18. They've played a similar number of career games. There's more of an offensive push from Dahlin's career numbers. There's better defensive metrics for Miro Heiskanen. I think that speaks a little bit to the skill set of each guy. Buffalo has not been the same type of competitive team Dallas has been since Miro Heiskanen's been on it. That's part of it too. But 2 guys that were at the top of their respective drafts, I think they're a little bit connected at the hip in terms of storyline. The other one is Jason Robertson against Tage Thompson. And if you go back 2 seasons ago, Thompson was a 47-goal scorer. Jason Robertson was 46 goals. They were both top 10 in the NHL. Last year, they both had 29, and I think they were in the 40s of rankings in terms of goal scoring. Now you get to this season, and you have 2 players that are basically trying to find that old goal-scoring magic. Not necessarily that they lost it, but which version of Robertson and Thompson are these 2 fan bases going to see this year? Is it going to be the 40-goal version or the mid-20-goal version? And when you look at potential contract opportunities coming up, Jason Robertson's going to be an RFA soon here. In Tage Thompson's career earnings potential, those are 2 very big numbers and 2 very different ballparks, 40 goals and 20 goals. So I think they're kind of 2 players that share similar potential career storylines, contract storylines, on-ice production storylines, and which version are we going to see this year?
And which version are we going to see tonight? Allie in Texarkana writes in. She says, my favorite hockey analyst on my favorite sports talk show. Nothing better. Thank you, Allie. Isn't she full of compliments? She's a great one. I know you're a big fan of hers, too. In the football world, there might be a tendency to call a game like tonight a trap game for the Stars, because the Sabres are not off to a great start. I think it's 2-4-1. Any talk about that?
Mm-hmm. Well, if there is any talk about it, Peter DeBoer does not like to acknowledge it, because we were asking him the same question about the San Jose game they had before they had to play Edmonton last week. I don't get the sense that there is a trap game for this one specifically. And I think if you look at the Stars, big picture, they're 5-1. Jake Ottinger's been playing fantastic. Their defensive metrics or their goals against, their penalty killing's been fantastic. Defensive metrics and the analytics side of things, they have not played their best hockey. Jake Ottinger and Casey DeSmith, they've had to save their bacon a little bit at different times at different games. And even the Edmonton game, they won 4-1. They were outshot 21-11 through the first two periods. I mean, they could not get a hold of the puck to save their life, it felt like, in the first period and as the second period moved along. So I think they recognize that they have a 5-1 record, but it could very well be 4-2, 3-3, 3-2-1. They have not dominated a game for 60 minutes yet. The other element here is they're going to get Matt Dumba back in the lineup after a long absence. Tyler Seguin is back after missing the last few games, and Sam Steele, a bottom six penalty kill guy, is back after missing a game or two as well. So I think with the injection of some healthy bodies back in their lineup, combined with they know and recognize they have not played what they would consider their level of hockey, despite the 5-1 record, I think they recognize they need to start this road trip strong. And frankly, if they can find a way to go into Buffalo and Boston and take both games, it can allow them to get to the level they're trying to get to if they're going to be a Western Conference power.
I'm going to end it with this. You had me at Brendan Morrow, number 10. Somehow or another, I missed. Is that he went into the Hall of Fame for the Stars? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah,
I
the
missed
Dallas
that.
Stars Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Okay, well, I was hosting a sports banquet this weekend, not that far from Brendan's hometown of Carlisle, Sask, where there is a banner of him or a sign of him out front of Carlisle, Sask. I'll show you sometime, Brian, if you're ever up there. Can you tell me how that went, what Brendan's up to these days? Beloved Portland Winterhawk alum, Carlisle, as I mentioned, and obviously a Dallas Star is great, too, in the Hall of Fame. What's he up to?
Well, if there's one thing we know about Brendan Morrow, he's not exactly a guy that craves attention. So he's keeping a low profile, but he is healthy and happy with his family living in the Dallas area. I know he has a couple of business ventures that he's involved in, and we were interviewing him a couple of nights before the banquet, and we had the whole highlight package, and we're showing Brendan Morrow, and he was drafted in his rookie year, and I asked him, what do you think about when you see the old draft footage and the standard definition? And his response to me was, what happened to that nose? That's not the same nose that he has today. And I simply thought, well, 2 decades in the NHL playing the way he played, that's exactly what happened to his nose. But it was a wonderful gala. His speech was fantastic. I think his best line from the speech, because he's not a guy that craves attention. He made the joke that when you're talking to an audience, you're supposed to imagine the audience naked. But as he was doing that, he realized his parents had fantastic seats for his speech going into the Hall of Fame. So, yeah. So he enjoyed it. Everybody enjoyed it. And there was a lot of people there to celebrate him and Jim Lights. And I think he's enjoying post-hockey life here in Dallas with his family. That's basically what the gist is.
Man, that just sounds like a fantastic night for Stars fans for sure. Well, Brian, it's game day. I appreciate the time as always, man. Break a leg tonight, and thanks for this.
Good to have you back. Good to be back for you this season. Appreciate it, Rod.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, the best. Brien Rea, Dallas Stars television analyst from Valley Sports, does such a great job. Big one tonight, Stars at Sabres. We'll be right back with a sports update and viewer takeover. Emory Hunt coming up in hour 2 to talk some football from CBS Sports HQ. We're live on Game Plus TV, WQEE Radio, streaming live on YouTube, and, of course, Apple Podcasts.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. the Create Space at IKS.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hockey teams, are you looking for just the right place for your team bonding sessions and outings? Look no further than Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. With state-of-the-art equipment, spacious shooting lanes, and games for all ages, Overtime Hockey Lanes is the perfect destination to build teams, whether you're from the Calgary area or if you're on the road from out of town. Book your lanes today, 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. You know, isn't it funny? It would be a boring world if we all saw things the same way. John Ohm, regarding the interview with Brien Rea, says the Dallas Stars have the best third uniform. Love that glow-in-the-dark green and black jersey. Here's the thing. I hate it. I hate it. And the Stars were my team for 20, however long my dad worked for, 26 years or whatever it was, were my favorite team. Now, they didn't have that jersey then. And I loved the old Stars jersey. I didn't like the green one now, let alone this neon. Interesting you would say that. I like the neon in the Seahawks jerseys in Seattle, but those Dallas Stars jerseys, I don't like them at all. But again, it would be a boring world if we all saw things the same way. How about that? 902-518-3030. 902-518-3033. Before I launch into this, I'll say this. Having spent the weekend in the Rectangle, Saskatchewan, it hurt my heart to see the attendance at the Pats game on Saturday night when I was hosting that banquet in Wolseley. The column that I run at rodpeterson.com, written by Glenn Erickson, hockey writer out of Medicine Hats. And Pats are like the second or third worst attendance in the league, something like that. And then I saw people say that no kids are going to the games because they can't afford the tickets. That one brought a tear to my eye. But hey, it's a different time in sport. What do I know? Calgary Hitman forward Ben Kindle has been named WHL Player of the Week. The WHL announced the 2025 NHL draft-eligible forward led all Dub skaters with 3 goals, 5 assists, and a +2 rating as the Hitmen collected 5 of a possible 6 points on a 3-game homestand. Hitmen have the worst attendance. I think the Pats are second. Saskatoon Blades netminder Evan Gardner has been named WHL Goalie of the Week. The Columbus Blue Jackets prospect went 1-1 in a pair of road games with a 2.01 GAA, helping the Blades stay atop the overall WHL standing. How about this? CF Montreal entertains Atlanta United tonight in a Major League Soccer wildcard showdown. Montreal finished 3 points ahead of 9th place Atlanta in the Eastern Conference. The winner will secure a spot in the upcoming best-of-3 playoff series against top-seeded Inter Miami. The first match of that series kicks off Friday night here in Fort Lauderdale. And if LeBron James and his son Bronny make NBA history tonight by playing in the same game for the Lakers, Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. will be there to witness it. The first father-son duo to play in Major League Baseball plans to be in attendance at the Lakers season opener in their downtown arena tonight, where the entire crowd will be hoping to see the James family accomplish the same rare sporting feat for the NBA. The Griffey's presence is exciting to Bronny James, the 20-year-old rookie picked in the second round by the Lakers. Why are they writing this and the narrative like it's not going to happen? Can you imagine them selling out Crypto.com Arena and Bronny doesn't play? I don't understand. Like, he's playing, right? Why is everybody acting like he might not play? We'll see what happens tonight, I guess. Okay, has anybody seen the Joker movie yet? I've been a little busy. I want to see it. In Landmark Cinemas now, Joker, from acclaimed writer-director Todd Phillips, comes Joker, Folie à Dieu, the much-anticipated follow-up to 2019's Academy Award-winning Joker, which earned more than $1 billion at the global box office and remains the highest-grossing R-rated film of all time. In Landmark Cinemas now. Joker. Okay, when we come back in hour 2, Moose is going to be with us. Whatever you would like to talk about and whatever he would like to talk about. I'm through everything I'd like to talk about. Now it's on you. Emory Hunt will join us from CBS HQ. He's a good baller. We'll talk NFL and CFL, and I see that that's leading our poll today for EMJ Marketing. What are you into the most right now? Over 50% of respondents saying NFL, CFL, followed somewhat closely by the NHL and hockey, and then World Series and NBA bringing up the rear. Emory will join us to talk ball. But you can get your message in. The Alaterra Skincare text line 902-518-3033 is open now. And, John Ohm, thank you. He says, I was disappointed with the follow-up Joker movie. I expected more. Utah Darren says, could Bronny be put on the inactive list? How do they not know? How do they not know? Hour 2 coming up after this.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
IKS Game Day wishes to congratulate the city of Esteban and Affinity Place on their brand new center ice display. This state-of-the-art score clock features 5 LED faces with full motion graphics, scoring integration, and our new Halo mounting system. If it's time for an upgrade, let us show you how to deliver the best fan experience. You can find us at iksgameday.com.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
I was born to broadcast. So the World Juniors 2012, I'm calling the national radio feed. I'm sitting there in the press box of the Saddle Dome like this, playing Pac-Man on my phone. Ray Ferraro, he's like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "What are you doing?" "I'm playing Pac-Man on my phone." "I just died." And he goes, "Don't you have game prep to get ready for the game or something?" "No, I know the numbers. I know everything about them. Let's get the game going."
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show. We're coming at you live on Game Plus television across Canada and 31 U.S. states on the telly. Live streaming on YouTube, of course, on the radio down there in Atlanta, 99.1 FM, WQEE. Producer Clark informing me that he thought that we had Darren Dupont, our co-host, lined up and ready to go, but now we don't. But that's okay. I can handle it. I'm sure Darren's aware that his presence is required off the top of Hour 2. It's only episode number 1361. I'd like to think that he knows that we're looking for him here. I'm used to it. I will get to your messages in a moment here from Aliterra Skincare on the text line. The Aliterra Skincare text line, 902-518-3033. There's a lot have come in. We do have some breaking news as we lift off Hour 2. One member of our family is leaving. Director Jordan. I say he's the first to leave what the viewers called the dysfunctional RP Show family. He is going to work at South Country Equipment as a farm implement technician. Big job. Big paycheck, I think. Good for you, Jordan. Moose is here. Darren's dad used to do that exact same job, which is pretty cool, too. So anyways, Darren, you've walked in the middle of the conversation. You see what we're talking about? Colin in Ottawa writes in, and he says, wouldn't Alan the intern be the first to leave this dysfunctional family? He was actually always great when he got on camera, and funny too. Alan the intern, the Asian sensation, he did the writing. He dressed up as the costume, the mascot, Ricky the iguana. He did everything, Alan the intern. But technically, he wasn't the first to leave. If you really want to go down that road, our very first ever intern was Connor Wallman. Remember? He interned with us.
Yes.
And then I don't know where he went. He went to go play junior hockey after that. But I'll never forget. I had a junior hockey team call me and said, "We're looking for a play-by-play guy." This is what I don't understand about sports right now. We're just talking, Moose, about how the World Series tickets. Last hour, we're saying game one, $1,200 for the cheapest ticket. You know, the prices have just gone. Whew. This junior hockey team calls me and says, "We're looking for a broadcaster. We want the best guy, and we don't have any money to pay hardly at all." I felt like he was like offering me the job. You remember this, right? And I was like, "Well, we have an intern here, Connor. I'll have him apply." So Connor applied for the job. The guy calls me back. He goes, "He's been interning with you for a week." Yep. He said, "You want the best guy and you don't want to pay anything. Who do you think you're going to get?" Welcome to sports nowadays. But anyways, Alan, the intern, is working in the industry, just not with us. So anyways, that's a bit of what's gone on there. Zach in Calgary writes in, he says, "Hope to see you Grey Cup week in Vancouver, Rod, if you're going. Hard to believe it's 3 weeks away now from the big game." I said, hour one is a lot like Sports Center. Hour two is a lot more like what I would like it to be, Howard Stern or The View for sports fans, a little more conversational. But before I go on, because I have more things, I haven't been on the air for 5 days. The floor is yours, Moose. What's on your mind coming out of hour one? Anything in particular?
Yeah, no, that's pretty good, coming out of hour one. And, you bring up Jordan leaving. I mean, that's going to go down as one of the Iron Man streak, almost like Phil Kessel, right? Getting out of the game now. And he's got the Iron Man streak. I don't know if it'll ever be matched. But no, he'll do good things. One thing I know for sure that won't happen when he's the director of this show, he's going to get huge biceps. You ever seen my dad? Huge biceps from cranking wrenches every day. So with that beard that Jordan's got and the biceps, he's going to look just like my dad.
He's going to fit right in. The amazing thing is, we said last hour, Jordan has done more shows than any of us. And the ironic thing is, he doesn't even like sports. That's a pro. That is a pro. The funny thing is, we don't really either. Okay. We're going to play our NHL breakaway bets in a second. 16 games in the NHL. We did have a little, hey, if you want to talk football, which, by the way, we're going to next segment with Emory Hunt from CBS 8Q. Get your questions and comments now with Moose and I, because we're going to play our NHL breakaway bets in a second. We got 16 games to go through. It'll take us 2 hours to do that. But Zach in Calgary says he hopes to see me at the Grey Cup, but I'm hoping to be there. I understand I'm scheduled to be there. Nothing's booked yet. But who's going to be in the Grey Cup, Darren? I mean, through this whole wild year, I almost understand how the country wakes up come playoff time. Now, we've been in it through the throes of training camp and even the offseason, making our picks, which, by the way, you see you can't catch. Can you catch? I'd have to get every pick wrong this week.
It's over now.
You'd have to get every game right. It's over?
No, okay. I think I'm too far back. I think, I think I was won one game this week, and I purely picked strategical. I saw you laid out your picks for me last week, which was very gracious. And I'm like, I got to go just pick against you. I would have picked everything you picked, but I got to go against you to make up some ground. It didn't happen. And I think I'm on the mat now.
As you know, I've had every pick right the last 2 weeks in the CFL. And I'm just going to dip into the comments for a second. Kevin the Medium writes in and says, "Good morning, RP peeps. Hope everyone is having a great day. Go Canucks, go." Kevin's birthday today. Happy birthday, Kevin. And Jen from the Four Seasons has checked in too. But the other day, I had a guy here in South Florida say to me, "What is a Canuck?" And I had to think about this a second, because the Vancouver Canucks came through here last Thursday. I didn't go to the game. But a Canuck is a slang for a Canadian. That's all I can think. Kevin, you're a Canucks fan. You're from Vancouver, so if I'm wrong, tell me. But I had a guy here, Scott is his name, just down the road here on Spanish River Boulevard, and he said, was where we were. And he goes, "What's a Canuck?" I'm like, I never thought about that. Slang for a Canadian, like a Yankee. Slang for a Northern American. Here we have the Montreal Canadiens. We have the Vancouver Canucks. Slang for Canadian. That's what I think. Anyways, trying to stay on point here. We're all kind of thinking the Saskatchewan Roughriders will be in the Grey. Right? Right? Aren't we?
Why not? Why not? I mean, they've been playing great football. So is Winnipeg. But why not? I think there's every reason they could be in this football game. I think, to be honest, I am less convinced that I know what's going to happen in the playoffs than I thought I was 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I was sure it was going to be Montreal and Edmonton in the Grey Cup, because Edmonton had been playing so well and on this wave, and all the rest, and that couldn't have been more wrong. And now I have no idea who's going to come out of the East. I think it could be Winnipeg, Saskatchewan in the West final. Should be, maybe. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have really no idea, and that's why we got to watch, and what makes the league so great.
All about getting hot at the right time. I guess I got swept up a little bit drinking the green Kool-Aid the other night in Wolseley. On stage with Bob Poley, the Rough Riders great, but he said Rough Riders season reminds him of the 89 Riders, the most cherished season in franchise history, where they got hot at the end. They did upset the 16-2 Edmonton Eskimos in the West Final. Tracy Ham, Randy Ambrosie went down as the biggest chokers in league history. And the Rough Riders, they'll be going, they could still finish first. So funny how things, whoop. Kim in Calgary writes in and says, I'm afraid it's going to be the Bombers winning the Grey Cup this year. But here's the thing. You have all been following the CFL long enough to know. Not a best-of-7 series. It's not even a best-of-5 series. It's one game. Nobody can sit here today and predict who it's going to be. Doesn't even matter who the best teams are. The NFL is the same. Kansas City is 6-0, but that don't mean they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm trying to stay on track here. But if you were a coach of a team, you don't take your foot off the gas. If the Chiefs are 6-0, you what going to do? Go lose games? No. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything now. Just like the Winnipeg Jets at 5-0 doesn't mean anything now. I'm sorry, John John. No, it's Bomber Boy in Calgary writes, and he says, welcome back, Rod. Will you be changing your wardrobe after every segment or only after the end of hour one? I just put on a jacket because it's cold here in the studio. If you can believe it's cold here in the studio. Outside, it's 28 degrees Celsius. I can't, frankly, wait to get outside. I jumped in my Jeep this morning. I went to Johnny O's. I'm like, it just feels so good. I had 3 people come up to me in Wolseley on Saturday night and say, how come you don't live here anymore? I said, because I live in Florida, and there's a big old world out there, and it's awesome. And I want to enjoy it before I die. And I'm enjoying every damn second of it. Shy writes in. Shy says, Rod, you must have bought a lot of merch. Need to take a U-Haul to carry it all. Been there, done that. Oh, and it's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. I just want to point that out. 11:11 Mountain. Visualize a positive outcome to your current situation. What do you got to lose?
How about that?
Jeff, the Stamps fan, just dropped $20 in the chat. He says, I can't be outdone by Bomber Boy. LOL. You guys are making me feel cheap. But not that cheap. We'll take the money. Again, I don't know where the money goes. It don't go to us. It doesn't go to us, Darren. I don't know where this money goes, or the commenters write in on YouTube. I don't know where it goes.
Oh, it has to. It'll filter back to us. Okay. It'll filter back to us and make its way to Joe.
Wayne in Victoria, BC says it's called air conditioning, right, Rod? This is year 4 for me down here, just so you know. And it's the first time I've been in a studio with air conditioning. Most time I'm out sweating my balls off, which was on me. It's on me. You guys were trying to get me to go into a studio. I didn't want to. Doing it from my backyard, almost being swept away in a monsoon, a hurricane, God knows what, or it's 95 degrees before humidity. I finally figured it out. Takes me a while. David, number one in Winnipeg, says, when I saw the U-Haul, I thought Rod was getting it to bring more stuff back to Florida. No, I travel light. Producer Clark, can you put up the photo of myself and Lily, my newfound friend from U-Haul Moose Jaw? This is from Saturday. There's the last remaining rental car in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. The last one. Lily set me up with it. Okay, that's the U-Haul they're talking about. Kelly McCrimmon, the general manager. Yeah, the general manager. Hey, that thing handled just like a grain truck. It was nothing. Listen, I'm hauling ass down Highway 1 on Saturday thinking, I think I might want to be a driver. In my next life, I think I'll just drive. It's so relaxing, freeing, being out on the open road. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Coach DeBuck writes in, he says, can we get some Sask versus Calgary talk before I head to practice in 10 minutes?
How about that?
Well, Coach, we got other guys paying for comments, Coach, so get off your wallet if you want to request what we're going to talk about here. He's the one that asked, does Saskatchewan have anything to play for this weekend? The Bombers, I got it written down here. Winnipeg, listen, Winnipeg needs to win and beat Montreal. Sask isn't going to finish first because Winnipeg, if they beat Montreal, they finish first. End of story. Montreal's got nothing to play for. They got first locked up. They might not even play Cody. Yeah, Sask is playing the doormat Calgary Stampeders, which said no one ever, but that's the way that it is. It's too bad for the Rough Riders that they got this home game Saturday, and well, it's not a meaningless game. And I guess it's one of those days, Darren, where they'll know by the time they take the field whether they need to win or not. God, this time of year sucked. I hate the last 2-3 weeks. This should have been built up to a huge crescendo. Mind you, I guess if Montreal beats Winnipeg, then that game means a hell of a lot. Hey, Saturday.
There is that. And, you know, it's a question of how much do they play Cody and how much do they play some of their stars because they have the week off. So you don't want to have guys completely shut down and have 2 weeks off with no live game reps. The other thing for Montreal mentally, and I talked to Scott Schultz about this yesterday, was, you know, as a player mentally, to limp into the playoffs with a bad loss at BC, let's say it's a bad loss at Winnipeg, and then a week off, and then you got to get ramped up for an East final and all of a sudden be world beaters again. Like, that's a difficult thing to do mentally, just to flip that around. So I think Montreal wants to, you know, play clean, play well. Everybody wants to win when they have a chance. I mean, they're not going to overexert themselves to win, but I think there's still something to play for Montreal.
Well, sure. Then they're going to be playing a revved up Winnipeg team. Winnipeg needs to win to clinch. Boom.
Yeah.
So they will win the game. It doesn't matter what. Montreal's got nothing to play for. You know, you played sports. We've been around this long enough. Winnipeg's going to win. Period. So by 7 o'clock Eastern, Coach, 5 o'clock Mountain, Sask and Calgary are going to take the field knowing it don't matter. It's just practice. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in and says, I would love if the Stamps could play that spoiler. Yeah, but it's not going to matter. John Ohm says, Rod, who are you picking? Yankees or Dodgers? Or do you care? I'm taking the Yankees. They're my playoff team. And the Dodgers just won not that long ago. So it's the Yankees' time. I admire greatness, evil empire, all of that. Moose, I got to bring you back in segment 3, I'm sorry, to do breakaway bets. I know you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll see you then.
Ball for all talk when we come back with the great Emory Hunt from CBS Sports HQ. CFL, NFL, whatever you'd like. We're live on Game Plus TV, WQEE Radio. Live streaming on YouTube and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
The 80s Club, live in Moose Jaw. Honeymoon Suite, along with a flock of seagulls. Men without hats. And spoons. All together for one night at Moose Jaw Event Center, Saturday, November 16th. Tickets on sale now at sastix.ca or the Moose Jaw Event Center box office.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit.
As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Gorgeous day in South Florida. Hey, clear water, clear choice. Filter out the bad and taste the good with Culligan Water of Regina. Check them out at culliganregina.com. And our text line's open, 902-518-3033. Brought to you by Alaterra Skincare. As sports fans, there's nothing we love more than a comeback. In the game against wrinkles, scars, and acne, it's never too late to revitalize your skin with Alaterra Naturals. Check them out at alaterra.com. Use promo code RP20 for 20% off discounts of your order. All right, Emory Hunt is with us from CBS Sports HQ. Hey, Emory. Some of the boys, I was talking about you. Yeah, good. Hey, with some of the boys from CBS Sports HQ down here at a Panthers game the other night. They know you. They're headquartered here, right? Are they not?
They are. They're headquartered right there in Fort Lauderdale, man. Like, and I'm basically working a lot out of the Stamford, Connecticut studios.
Okay, well, Alex Baumgartner and the crew say, what's up, Emory? And they're big fans of you and obviously your football knowledge. And before we get to the CFL, which I know you love, NFL, Week 7, has your Super Bowl pick changed from preseason to now?
Maybe, it hasn't. My preseason pick was Baltimore and Philly. So we're still trekking toward that, are tracking toward that. So I still have a little bit more faith than Philadelphia than more people do. But Baltimore, I feel like if they got another shot at Kansas City, they'll tie up loose ends because they know they can't have any, small mistakes because the Chiefs will capitalize, and I think they can overcome them. But Philly, the NFC has gotten a lot tougher as we've seen it this season with the whole NFC North. Washington is playing really well, and you don't know what you're going to get out the West or the South. But I do feel like we know the North is going to be where you're going to have to go through to get to the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, my pick was Kansas City, Detroit in the Super Bowl, and I was thinking of maybe amending that, or but I mean, how far was Sam Darnold going to take him? Let's be honest. And on this weekend, I think the Lions proved they are who we thought they are. So I'm actually feeling pretty good about my Super Bowl pick. So you're sticking with yours, huh? Baltimore? Well, not the Eagles. I wouldn't think. Even the Eagles?
Oh, I'm gonna still stick with the Eagles. Even the Eagles. I feel like at some point, their offense will continue to kick it into gear. Defensively, those young players will become young veterans by the end of the season, and they'll start to find their mojo moving forward as they trek toward the playoffs. Because again, you still have a dynamic running back, two excellent wideouts, a really good tight end, good offensive line, good quarterback that has been through the playoffs before and gotten to a Super Bowl. So they have some of the pieces. If they can figure out the things that are clouding the program right now in terms of getting out of the funk or starting the game, how they tend to finish games, or finishing the game, how they start the game. If they clear out all that smoke, they'll be just fine.
We will invite and take anybody's questions talking football, NFL, or CFL related with Emory Hunt, 902-518-3033 on the Alaterra Skin Lines. Alaterra Skincare text line. They're new to us, Emory. Bear with me. So I talked a little CFL here earlier, and I know you follow it closely. As a matter of fact, you could cover it for CBS Sports HQ. Bob in Saskatoon writes in, he says, Trevor Harris stays healthy. Riders win the Grey Cup. Ron in Calgary writes in, he says, hey, Rod, I'm thinking if the Riders close out the season with a win, they'll be going to the Cup. Steve in Steinbach, Manitoba writes in, he says, I think Montreal plays their starters for the first half. So how much of an eye do you have on this week 21, final week of the regular season and the games and what's going to go down?
A huge eye, because again, I've been following the season from start to finish and a big fan of what they do. And listen, I'll attack both points. For Montreal, this team is the best team overall in the CFL. So knowing how that can hinder a team moving into the postseason if they don't have a first round game, you kind of want to make sure you're playing your best ball going in, right? But for Saskatchewan, I like the fact that this team is mentally tough. And I've documented this all throughout the season to where, I compared their head coach to Antonio Pierce when he was going with the Raiders last year, and how, they just feel like they're playing for him. And you're not going to go out there and push around the Raiders. You're not going to go out there and push around the Riders. And so you're seeing them, love what Corey Mason's done and coaching his football team, and how they've used multiple quarterbacks, and they've found run games in spurts, but defensively they've been consistent throughout. And when you have the attitude and the ability to turn the ball over like they do and get after the quarterback and stop the run, you're going to always have a shot. And I feel like that's a puncher's chance for sure coming out the West, which has been opened up, to be honest, this season.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, you were on here a couple weeks ago. You made the comment about the BC Lions and the quarterback controversy. The Lions didn't like your comment, by the way. I guess they don't like the truth. Sorry, I dropped my pen. So we're gonna go back and forth here between NFL, CFL questions and comments. I know you can handle it. Paul in Humboldt writes in and says Mike Tomlin for Coach of the Year. It's a little early, I think, for that talk, but he got the critics off his back with what Russell Wilson did Sunday night.
Fascinating, because I just brought this up last night on CBS Sports HQ's Monday Night Football pregame and postgame. The red herring here is Justin Fields versus Russell Wilson. That's the red herring. The focus should be on Arthur Smith's play calling, because if you look at the passing game for both Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, it's still very much outside the numbers base. There's not a lot of consistency in between the numbers or inside the hashes because the concepts of the passing game just isn't there. I feel like it's a lot of shot plays, not a lot of complementary routes to where you're going to be able to work through certain progressions and one guy clear so that guy that you really want is going to break open. So the run game has always been there. It was there for both quarterbacks. And the downfield passing game is there for both quarterbacks in terms of going to George Pickens, because people tend to be, locked into what they saw last. And what they saw last is, Russell Wilson completed some passes downfield. Yeah, well, so did Justin Fields to the same person. So who are the other receivers? That's the issue with the passing game. It doesn't matter who's the quarterback. It's the passing game that's the problems. But people are focused on the two QBs when in reality, both quarterbacks should be starting in the NFL. The Steelers just have two starting quarterbacks, but the passing game, not the quarterbacks, are the issue.
Okay, we got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. So everybody be patient. I'll try to get to all your questions. 3 people want to know your take on NFL kickoff rules from Utah, Calgary, and Winnipeg. They all want to know, what is the take on the new kickoff rules, and will they stay past this season, do you think?
Yes, and I think it opens the door for guys that can run with the football, like running backs, to be back there. You can even put 2 guys back there. You can even get creative on how you block it up front. We've seen 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns so far this season, and we saw this all throughout the 2 years of the USFL, XFL, and then last season of the UFL. So it's not new. I think it's even more exciting and opens up more opportunities for players.
Good job on that. Again, pinballing back and forth between the leagues. Jeff, the Stamps fan in Calgary, says, what will the price be to acquire Vernon Adams this offseason? That's a loaded question, because as you know, he's the man going into the playoffs. Maybe the question should be, what's the price for Nathan Rourke? How do you see this thing playing out, Emory?
Well, didn't the Calgary Stamps just sign P.J. Walker, America's quarterback, who was thriving at the UFL and XFL MVP? Like, you may have the answer already in house.
Hey, here's the latest. I just saw it this morning. A God shot that I saw the tweet. He's not going to play this weekend, so he can keep his NFL or any U.S.-based options open. The Stamps are doing him a solid, because if he signed and played this weekend, he would be ineligible to go anywhere else next year. So he's not going to play. I find that quite interesting. That's a good move by the Calgary Stampeders on behalf of the player. Not a lot of teams would do that, I don't think.
Right, because that's my way of saying Calgary can take their time with the Rourke or Vernon Adams decision and let that happen organically, because you may have a potential guy in-house.
Yeah, Jeff, the Stamps fan, just stirring it up because he knows we don't know who's going to be available in the summer, winter. It all depends on how the season.
Right?
You knew. You weren't fooled. Ryan in upstate New York, Cardinal Ryan writes in and says, question for Emory. What do you pinpoint as the New York Jets' problems? Coaching, injuries, or other?
Trying to run the offense through Aaron Rodgers. They have personnel to be a punch-you-in-the-mouth running team with a very good defense. The personnel in the passing game is going to happen organically with timing and more efficiency, but because you're trying to run the passing game first without leaning on the 3-headed monster you have in the backfield, along with the offensive line that you built to run the ball, you're going to find yourself throwing yourself out of game. So they just have to learn to lean in on where they're strongest right now, which is the run game. Then the passing game will happen organically.
It's an interesting answer, because I think just overall the Jets are dysfunctional. I think we all know that. And speaking of dysfunction, from the Puck and Pigskin podcast, writes in Jason in Red Deer. He says, what's the deal with the Raiders? Another dysfunctional organization. I mean, what are you thinking about the black and silver, man? How'd they get out of this?
Well, this is one of the spots where Justin Fields or Russell Wilson should have gone, or they should have broke all things to try to go and get one of those two, because that's what's missing right now from the Raiders. No quarterback play or consistency from the quarterback position. Someone that can help drive this bus. Right now, they got a bunch of seats on the bus, but no driver. And that's going to go all kind of ways out of control. And that's, if you want to say, well, the 2025 NFL draft, who needs a quarterback? If your list doesn't include the Raiders, one, then throw your list away.
Okay, and I got to give you, here's my last question for you. Tua will play probably this weekend and without a guardian cap. What's your take on the fact that he's coming back at all and now that he doesn't want to wear extra head protection when he does?
Well, it's his decision to come back and play. And I tip my cap for him for going through what he has gone through to say, you know what? I feel like I want to do this. I'm making the choice for me and my family. Credit to you for that. Aesthetically, I don't mind him not wearing a guardian cap. That thing ugly. So just from a health perspective, if it can help you, cool. But aesthetically, I feel like it would make me get hurt faster because it just doesn't look right. But I like the fact that he took the time, made a decision. He's cleared to go. I think we are projecting our personal feelings onto him. Guys get hurt all the time, and we think nothing of it. But the fact that he got hurt and we saw what the injury looked like and saw his reaction, we don't want to see that no more. So we're saying you shouldn't play. But that's kind of selfish on our part. If he's going to go out there and play and he says, I'm ready to go, I can do it, then he should have that right to do so.
Great answer, Emory. And I related to this. I have to go on the radio in London, Ontario this afternoon to talk about this. It's, I think, my first where I'm going to talk about the NFL as the guest ever. But I related to hockey. You're close enough to Canada. I think you understand it. Guys don't want to wear visors out of an ego thing. Ego. And maybe it has to do with vision. But more than anything, ego. But you said it best. It's his decision. So let's get off his back. Great job, man. Thanks. Hopefully we can do it again in the playoffs.
Anytime. Appreciate you guys for bringing me on.
Emory Hunt from CBS Sports HQ. Moose joins us next for Frozen Frenzy Picks. We have a sports update coming up and viewer takeover too. What a busy day. We're live here on the Game Plus TV network, WQEE Radio, streaming live on YouTube and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit.
As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
business owners, and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, the RP show continues from gorgeous South Florida. Folks, transform your audience with powerful presentations from EMJ Marketing's elite speakers. Check out their website for more information, emjmarketing.com. They sponsor our poll question, which is today, what are you most into right now? Leading the poll vote is NFL, CFL. Second place, NHL, hockey. That could include junior or college if that's your thing. And then World Series and NBA after that. Let's bring in the Moose. I voted for hockey. He voted for football. Before we get into our breakaway bets on this Frozen Frenzy, Moose, Tuesday in the NHL with for the only time all year, 16 games. We had people last week while you were off saying, where is your top 5, bottom 5, Rod, in the NHL? Where's Darren's power rank? These were different people. I'm like, you were paying attention? I didn't think anybody cared. So I hadn't really thought about it. So I guess we'll fire that up this week. Isn't that nice that they actually care? I didn't think they were paying it.
You know what? It is. We do these things. We know people do. I think at the end of the day, we know people enjoy them, but you don't really hear back. So you're not really that sure. So the feedback is welcome, and squeaky wheel gets the grease. So you ask for it, we'll do it. I'm ready.
It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. I just, I didn't know that anybody was paying attention. Again, I'll say that again. People love the stories. I guess we have time for one more story. Tori Gurley. You know this story. The viewers don't. The former Browns and Packers wide receiver. An Argonaut, too. He called me out of the blue. Summer of 2019. I'd never met him before. And he says, Rod, I want to get into the media business. I played in the NFL and CFL, and I was told that you were the guy to talk to about that. I'm like, what? How'd you get my number? And he goes, well, I used to date, or he goes, I date, who's now his wife, Kimberly. And he goes, she used to work in Tony Roma sports bar in Regina, and you used to host your TV show in there, the Rough Riders show. I'm like, somebody was watching? Somebody was paying attention? Yeah. And now you know how close Tori and I are. It's like, you just never know who's paying attention or who you're impacting is the moral of the story. Finally landing the plane. So, tomorrow, Moose, top 5, bottom 5 NHL, and your NFL power rankings. Top 5. Cool? Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, the breakaway bets, too. Now I'm going to be thinking about that trucker, Chad Bieber. By the time he listens to this, all the games are going to be over. It's like we're being pantsed on national television by the time he listens to this. Washington at Philadelphia is the first game of the Frozen Frenzy tonight of the 16 games. I'll go first, and I'm going to take Philadelphia to win. How about you?
Me too.
Yeah? Okay. The Minnesota Wild here at the Florida Panthers. We will be at the game with the Cats and Bolts podcast. I'll take the Florida Panthers to win. You?
Good. I'll take Minnesota. They're off to a good start.
The Tampa Bay Lightning at the New Jersey Devils. The Bolts are 0-2 on this road trip against the division-leading Devils. I think I got to go with Jersey. How about you?
Yeah, I'll go with Jersey, too. I think Tampa's not looking good last night.
Dallas Stars at the Buffalo Sabres, a rematch of the 1999 Stanley Cup Final. I think I'm going to take Dallas. You?
Dallas is the better team, but I'll take Buffalo to win tonight.
Okay. The New York Rangers at the Montreal Canadiens. An original 6 matchup. Dun, 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 dun. I think I'll take the Ranger. You?
Okay. I'll take the Rangers, too.
Okay. The Toronto Maple Leafs at the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. Leafs are rolling, but they just played last night. Who you go first? Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Toronto. They're playing a really good style of hockey.
Okay. Just to be a fly in the ointment, I'm going to take Columbus. I don't really think there's no money on this. This is what we call sport betting. It's like sport fishing, where you catch the fish and you throw it back. We bet on the games, but don't exchange money. It's an RP show kind of thing. Detroit Red Wings at the New York Islanders. What you thinking?
I think, Islanders are at home. I'll go Islanders.
Okay, I'm going to take Detroit. They got to get this figured out. Because if they don't
they do.
Get it figured out, they're not going to make the playoffs, and Ottawa is going to. How about that? It is only October, by the way. It's not even Halloween yet. But everybody's losing their heads. Winnipeg at St. Louis. I think the Jets go to 6-0. I'm taking the Jets to win at St. Louis. How about you?
I'll ride with the Jets till they lose. Yeah, let's go.
How about that? The Vancouver Canucks will win for Kevin Hughes on his birthday at the Chicago Blackhawks. I got Vancouver. How about you?
I talked to Kevin on the phone this morning to wish him happy birthday. So you know what? A final birthday present. I'll go with Vancouver too tonight.
The Colorado Avalanche at the Seattle Kraken. I think I'll take the Kraken. You?
Okay, I'll take the Avs. They got to keep winning games.
The Boston Bruins at the winless Nashville Predator. I'll take the Preds to win tonight and get off the snide. Whatever the snide is, the Preds are going to get off it. How about you?
Yeah, I got big expectations for the Preds, but this is tough tonight. I'll take Boston.
Ooh. The Carolina Hurricanes at the Edmonton Oilers. This is probably the game of the night. I will take the Oil to win at home, but how about you?
I'll take Carolina. I still call it an upset, even though Edmonton's been struggling.
Ottawa Senators at the Utah hockey team. I will take. I'm drinking the Ottawa Kool-Aid. I'll take Ottawa at Utah. How about you?
Yeah, I'm taking Utah. The Magic. It's at home. It's still early season. They're exciting. That'll be a raucous building tonight.
Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins at Calgary. It's a toughie. This is, for me, the toughest one to pick. I think I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
Okay.
You?
I'm going to take the Flames.
Hey, that was easy. The winless San Jose Sharks at the Anaheim Ducks. This is the worst game of the night as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to take Anaheim to win at home for sure. You?
All these teams got to get a win eventually. For that reason, I'll take San Jose. I'll take the other side.
Okay.
I think they'll get their first win tonight.
It was an interesting poll question last week when I said, who's in more trouble of the winless teams?
Yeah.
And people said the Sharks. They're not expected to win anything, so they're not in any trouble. No, I would say Nashville is in way more trouble because they are expected to win and they wouldn't, but it's perspective. And there's a pretty good game here. Los Angeles Kings at the Vegas Golden Knights will wind it up. I think I'll take Vegas. They've been struggling a little bit. I think they'll be happy to be back home on the Fortress. I'll take Vegas. How about you?
Okay, I'll take LA. Ever since that beatdown by Toronto last week, LA's looked better. I'll take the Kings.
We call it sport betting, everybody, and I appreciate you all playing along. Moose, and I appreciate you doing so as well. You have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. See you tomorrow.
Coming right back with overtime after this, and that includes a sports update and viewer audience takeover. We're live on Game Plus TV, WQEE Radio, streaming live on YouTube, and also Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit.
As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is time for overtime. Hockey teams, are you looking for just the right place for your team bonding sessions and outings? Look no further than Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. With state-of-the-art equipment, spacious shooting lanes, and games for all ages, Overtime Hockey Lanes is the perfect destination to build your team. Whether you're from the Calgary area or if you are on a road trip from out of town, book your lanes today, 28th Street, Northeast Calgary. What I love is that place is taking over the scene. Saw Dustin Wolf was playing hockey at Overtime Hockey Lanes. Rich Sutter from the Sutters, which, by the way, Richie, if you're watching, which I know you always do, Clark's going to be hitting your DMs. Book for, how about that? Book for tomorrow, Clark.
How about that?
Alaterra Skincare text line, 902-518-3033. Phil in Dauphin, Manitoba writes in. He says, good day, good day. Thank God it's Taco Tuesday. On my list of things Canadians should be grateful for that they don't even realize they should be grateful for, which includes Tim Hortons, Hockey First, autumn, fall weather, taco time. Yep. People ask me, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant? I always say, taco time. Oh, come on. What about authentic taco time? Phil says, for the poll question, It's hockey for me. The poll question is, what are you into the most right now? Hockey, football, baseball, basketball. He says, a few interesting starts. The Jets are 5-0. Nashville's expensive offseason acquisitions, and yet they're 0-5. Hashtag Go Bombers. Man, did we have fun sports discussions today, didn't we? Around all these leagues. Just consider this for a second. If I have this right, and the NFL hardcores will jump on me, but did Baltimore not start 0 and I think they were 0-2, the Ravens, which if you extrapolate that to a hockey season or compare it, 0-2 is like 0-5 or more in the NHL. What I'm saying is a bad start by the Preds could quickly be flipped around like the Baltimore Ravens have done in the NFL. Yeah, they were 0-2 because they're now 4-2. But you know what I'm saying. But I get where you're all coming from, and the Jets are who we thought they were. I believe that. They're a very good hockey team. Nobody's disputing that. We're all just sitting here waiting till April. That's a sucky way to be, but that's the way that it is. Leafs fans are the same too, right? You're enjoying the ride, but let's be honest. All we care about is the Stanley Cup playoffs. So that's both for the Leafs and the Jets. Ray in Scarborough, Ontario writes in, well, yeah, it has to do with my sports update that I read earlier. So hang on. I'll tell you what he was writing about. The NBA season tips off tonight with 2 games, one on each coast. The Boston Celtics open at home against the New York Knickerbockers, and LeBron James begins his record-tying 22nd season as the LA Lakers host the Minnesota Timberwolves. The 39-year-old LeBron is set to make history by playing alongside his son Bronny, forming the NBA's first father-son duo. Last hour, I was reading the Wire copy said, if Bronny plays, they will become the NBA's first. I'm like, what do you mean if? How do you not know whether he's going to play or not? It's game 1. Not like he's battling injury coming out of training camp or preseason. And Ray says, hey, Rod, I'm just guessing, but maybe it's not an official game until Bronny steps onto the court. And then it's official. I'm sure LeBron will do his part by playing. Okay. I didn't understand it, but I appreciate the viewers chiming in to help me out. Ray says also, don't sleep on the Argos getting to and winning the Grey Cup. Chad Kelly is just in mid-season form after missing 9 weeks. Well, Chad Kelly named on the long list of CFL Players of the Week. Chad Kelly's on the list. It just came out within the last hour. This storyline will come up over the next couple of weeks once the media gets around to it. Not like they haven't noticed yet. Chad Kelly imploding in the East Final last year against Montreal, where they turned the ball over 9 times after setting a franchise record in plus, turnover ratio last season. So there's this redemption for Chad Kelly that's kind of understated because, let's be honest, Chad Kelly spent the first half of the season suspended for distasteful things. The CFL doesn't really want that much coverage around Chad Kelly. But come playoff time, that'll go away, and that's what we'll hear about. One of the major stories is, can Chad Kelly overcome imploding in the East Final last year? I've never talked to Chad Kelly. I don't know anything about Chad Kelly. I was at one time pulling for Chad Kelly. Personally, I don't feel like I'm really pulling for him anymore. Now I'm just kind of observing, going, be a hell of a story. This will be a pretty good indication as to whether or not Chad Kelly's changed. Now, what he does on the field and what he does off the field are 2 different things. But if he's really tried to evolve as a person and grow, maybe he gets past that hump and they beat Montreal in the East Final and they go to the Grey Cup. I'll be pulling for Cody Fajardo. Good versus evil. What a story. And if you want to portray that I said Chad Kelly's evil, go ahead. Hey, Brent in Wellington, Florida says, welcome back, Rod. You better have not forgotten on that plane without some cheesies. made with real fromage.
How about that?
Brent's this guy. Right. I'll see you tonight, Brent. Your cheesies got crushed. Sorry to say, blame Air Canada. From the Puck and Pigskin contest, he says, is it just me or does it seem like every Oilers game they're at home? Just you.
Bingo!
Paul in Humboldt says his sports priority is SJHL, CFL, NHL, and NFL. And I appreciate that, but we're trying to appeal to the national audience on national television. Yeah, okay, we're going to run. We're going to run. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's going to be a great week. Rich Sutter will be with us tomorrow. I know you're all paying it. And Paul Lapalisse. There you go. Two big sports names. As the week goes along, we'll be looking forward to those big weekend football games. But it's only Tuesday, and it's the only day of the year that there are 16 NHL games, and it's also NBA tip-off. Thank you, Jason Red Deer. He says, great show as always. It's been good. Great work, Clark. Thank you, Brien Rea, Emory Hunt, and everybody else. Have a good 22 hours. See you tomorrow.
Who has more fun than us?